everything right.
This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Fox Sports Trending now.
Starting with a developing Major League Baseball story, multiple reports, including WEEI's Lou Maroney, says the outfielder Mookie Betts and the Dodgers are close to a massive contract extension for 10-plus years worth between $350 and $400 million. Dodgers open the 2020 season tomorrow night, hosting the Giants at 10 Eastern. Rockets guard Russell Westbrook was able to practice with the team today for the first time since recovering from coronavirus and clearing the NBA's quarantine protocol, while Clippers guard Patrick Beverley has left the Orlando bubble, needed to tend to some personal business, according to ESPN. He does plan to return to the team in the near future. While Lakers guard Alex Caruso skipped his sister's wedding this past weekend in Texas to remain with his team in Orlando. He says the Lakers have worked too hard to get back to championship form and have a chance to win. I'm Deb Carson.
We are Fox Sports!
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Maid.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
And welcome into the only bubble people want to come into and don't want to leave. It is the Tony Bruno Sports Bubble. I like that. Sounds pretty good. We should change the name, the Sports Bubble, Harry.
You don't like Wine Cellar anymore?
No, the Wine Cellar is always going to be the Wine Cellar, Harry. Even if we run out, we still have the facilities to store wine.
Or it could be like, you know how they name like the court after a certain basketball coach, but the arena wouldn't change names. So this would be sort of like the sports bubble within the Tony Bruno Wine Cellar.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You're right on it, Harry.
The Bruno bubble.
The Bruno bubble here. Nobody's left to go home for various sundry excuses. But that's what's happening in the NBA bubble. We'll talk about it today. We have a stand-up mic now for our producer, Ryan Rothstein.
Yeah.
He looks like he's walking up to the studio audience. We have another contestant. Step on up, sir. What do you have to say today?
Yes, how about airplane food, am I right? I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he looks like he's on stage at Helium or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. No respect. No respect, I tell you.
We got a
red
heckle.
lights on.
Open mic night here on the Tony Bruno Show. We welcome everybody. If you're a first-time listener, we welcome you aboard SiriusXM 211 every day, 3 to 6 Eastern Time, on Twitch.tv, where we've been for almost 2 years. You realize that, Harry?
No.
Neither did I. No, actually, we started. You know when our first Twitch show was? It was the national championship game in college basketball 2 years ago. Not this past one where we didn't play one, but the previous one. We were doing a show up there in King of Prussia at the Green Turtle in Montgomery County. That was our first show live on Twitch. So we're talking well over a year, right? Almost a year and a half ago. So Twitch.tv, the sports part of Twitch is exploding. Everybody knows it is a gaming site, Harry. And that's Harry Mays. I'm Tony Bruno. Miss Robbins over there. Her hair looks beautiful today. It's all like flowing and all over the place.
Oh, yes.
We need a fan blowing on it so you can have that wispy, willowy hair blowing. You know, like Fabio. Remember when Fabio always used to have the hair?
Can I whip it back and forth?
Exactly.
Oh, no, wait. My headset's going to fall off.
Hair. Exactly right. Did you say whip it? Whip it real good, as someone once said up in Devon, I believe. Now, that was Devo, but there was a sign. Yeah. You know, here in the Philadelphia area, there's an area called Devon.
Devon.
Right, Devon, the famous horse show is there, and people would white out the N, so it would say Devo, back when Devo was the bomb. Back in the...
That was a long time ago.
I know, remember that?
Late 70s, early 80s, yeah.
Hey, I still wear
flower pot on your
pots
head?
on my head when I go out and pick my tomatoes, Harry.
Of course.
The flower pot look is coming back, Harry. It's coming back.
I wonder what they were smoking when they decided that was a good look.
Yeah. Hey, everybody loved that. Everybody knew the song Whip It Real Good.
Oh, yeah.
No. It's a classic. It's not on the Mount Rushmore.
No.
But it's in the top 100 on Casey's Countdown. coast to coast. So twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show. You go in there, you follow the show. It's simple. Doesn't cost you anything. If you want to subscribe to the show, Amazon Prime, you get it for free. What do you get for free anymore, Harry? What's free out there? I mean, freedom isn't even free anymore.
No, nothing.
Nothing's free.
Nothing.
Well, government checks, if they continue to give them out.
Yeah, but I don't get them.
That's free. They may be giving more out, Harry. And if they're going to give me another check, I'm going to take the damn check. Not the check down.
You're not going to turn it down?
Hell no.
You're not going to say, no. Keep your money, government.
Hell no. It's my money. Give me my damn money back. Anyway, we welcome all the people on Twitch, on SiriusXM 211, and all the ships at sea in the bubble. And the bubble is bursting in the NBA, Harry. We'll get to that. But we got a lot of good stuff today. Adam Schefter is going to join us. You know who else? Local baseball guy who knows his stuff. Corey Seidman from NBC, Philly.
He's really good.
He really is. And then on one of our favorite NFL correspondents. Forget about all these other strappers in the NFL who want to. Forget Andrew Siciliano at the NFL Network.
Yeah.
Forget Rich Eisen at the NFL Network.
With all due respect.
Yeah. Forget about Steve Mariucci, even though he's a friend of the show.
Mm-hmm. Forget about Michael Irvin, who didn't call the show.
Exactly.
He's out.
I know. He used to be my boy.
Yeah, we're out.
I don't know what's going on with Mike. Mike, we were just hugging in Miami at the Super Bowl. It was a love fest, remember?
Yeah, he was professing his love for you.
Exactly. Maybe the pandemic, maybe he doesn't want to hug me anymore or kiss me. You know I love me some Dallas Cowboys, Harry. And most importantly, as Jerry Jones once said, I don't just love me the Cowboys. You know what I love? I want me some glory hole. We will have
I want me some glory hole.
Absolutely.
How about them Cowboys?
I mean, Troy Aikman is still in.
Troy Aikman's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Joe Buck's a friend of the show. But they work for Fox, and I don't work for Fox. I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. And sometimes Robin tries to be the boss of me. But we know how that goes.
That doesn't
when
go
she
very
tries
well.
to be
That doesn't
the
go
boss.
never
very
goes well.
Ain't
No.
nobody the boss of me right now.
No.
I control the horizontal. I control the vertical, sort of like the outer limits, remember?
Right.
For the next 60 minutes, sit back, and we will control all that you see and hear. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. Yes, we will control my phone ringing. And from Norristown, is that Jose checking in
Might
already?
be.
It's What Up Wednesday, by the way.
Could be.
Is that Jose's number?
I don't know.
I don't think he has my number. I never gave it to him. But he has pretty much everybody's
Well,
number.
trust me, if you did, he'd be calling every day.
So anyway, we got a lot of good stuff. Colleen Wolfe is who I'm talking about.
Yes.
You know her, you love her, you see her on Total Access on NFL Network. NFL is underway, Harry, as far as guys showing up. But you know what's underway today, too, Harry? The NBA will be having their first scrimmages on NBA TV during the afternoon hours. How about that? You know who's playing today, Harry, the scrimmages?
The Sixers are not.
No, they're not. Nobody cares about the Sixers. We got Sixers updates concerning Al Horford and Joel Embiid apparently are not going to play together because they haven't been practicing together.
Mm-hmm.
And Al Horford says, yeah, how much are you paying me? I'll come off the bench.
Well, yeah, he's going to be off the bench because, Ben Simmons is going to be playing that position now.
Exactly right. So we'll talk about the bubble scrimmages today, the Clips and the Magic, Harry. First televised NBA action since March 11th. You realize that, Harry? That's the first time there'll be any kind of NBA basketball action going back to the day everything shut down on March 11th. It's going to be on NBA TV and League Pass if you want to watch scrimmages.
Well, let's put it on.
Let's get it on. Let's put it on. You really want to watch NBA scrimmaging, Harry?
Well, I mean, the couch guy probably has action on
yes, he does.
On this game.
And by the way, he's got his Cleveland Indians jersey on today.
Yeah. Yes. He's a very strange wardrobe.
It's a very ever getting ripped on Twitch. It's an It's a summer league baseball jersey. Okay, I have no. It's not for the
Indians
Cleveland.
have a summer league.
No, it was an AAU team I played with in the summer after college.
So they ripped off the Cleveland Indians
so
uniforms.
Again, it was a throwback.
And what's
uniform.
the patch on the arm say?
It's just authentic.
It's the
Chief
Cleveland.
Wahoo.
It's Chief
Yeah,
Wahoo.
so
That's racist. They got rid of Chief Wahoo.
You
got
to burn that,
We've
bro.
been canceled. We've been
Yes.
canceled. We've been kicked
Are you
out of
kidding
the
me?
league.
We're on a day where cancel culture is one of the top trends on Twitter.
And you're putting Chief Wahoo on Twitch today.
I know, man. I got to get out.
Do you realize going to come in and Rob?
Whatever you do.
You know what you need to do?
Manfred's going to storm in here and shut this show down.
Exactly.
Without the express written consent of Major League Baseball.
You know what you need to do? You need to be like a vintage strapper and take something and roll it up in your sleeve.
No, let me get some tape. Do we have any duct tape? We got to duct tape that over.
Don't we have a pack of Marlboros you could
we
roll
can
up
blur
in
it
the
out.
sleeve?
Can we electronically blur it out?
Pixelate it.
Like the presidential suite plaque on Damian Lillard's presidential suite down in the NBA bubble, Harry?
He's going to have to leave due to a family emergency.
Exactly.
Everybody's got a family emergency all of a sudden at the bubble, Harry.
Yeah.
What is going on down there?
I don't know. The first thing I thought of, Tony, when you start seeing a lot of these. Now I know the Zion Williamson thing is a serious thing, but if more and more of these keep happening, I'm thinking, are these guys going home to get
like
some
a
glory
furlough,
furlough,
work release? It's like Michael Avenatti. They let him out of jail, and now he's back in jail. That kind of stuff.
I can't keep track.
I can't keep track either. But Alex Caruso of the Lakers, you see what he did? He did not go to his sister's wedding last Saturday. So his sister's getting married in Austin, Texas, and because the Lakers are already down Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, he talked to LeBron, he talked to his teammates, and they said, hey, man, no, you should go to the wedding for your sister. Right? And then he said, no, I'm more important to my teammates and to the chicks down in the bubble. I mean, come on. Your sister's going to get married probably 2 or 3 more times. It's just the way it works anymore. You don't have to be at a wedding. I don't go to weddings anymore because I know these people are going to get divorced 2, 3, 4 years from now. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll get 10 years out of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pump out a couple of kids.
I think the Lakers could have done without Alex Caruso.
I don't know, Harry. He's a fan favorite out there at Staples Center, Harry.
Jesus.
You cannot win the NBA championship for LeBron James without Alex Caruso on the floor. Enrique Caruso, now he's a different story. You remember the great Caruso, Harry?
No.
The great opera singer.
Do I look like a guy that knows opera?
Do you know who Bocelli is?
Well, I've heard of him. I mean,
you know Pavarotti?
Yeah, but
What about Caruso?
Not Caruso.
Mario Lanza?
The only reason I know who Mario Lanza is because it's a mural of him on Broad Street as I drive home.
I understand the Philadelphia mayor's going to take that down this weekend when he takes the Columbus statue down. And I've been telling you, this is a lock. I don't do sports locks or golf locks. I'm telling you right now, watch the news this weekend, national news. The city of Philadelphia's mayor, the feckless Jim Kenney, who tried to have the statue removed with all of his goons. Then all of a sudden they built a box around it. You remember that, Harry?
Yeah,
we couldn't drive into the city.
The box
is
there.
The box. What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Christopher Columbus is in the box.
By the way, feckless is a great word.
Thank you, Harry.
All right.
I try to always keep my vocabulary tight. And just try to show that I have average intelligence and a lovely speaking voice, which makes me eminently qualified to do this very show, Harry, as we are getting sports back. Are you feeling better now?
I am.
What
I've
do you
been
think
good all
about
week.
the sports coming back?
I've been positive all week.
We got baseball games that don't matter. We got baseball games that will matter tomorrow night, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Is this going to count now,
I
Harry?
know.
We got golf. We got soccer.
Here's the thing. Starting tomorrow night, you're going to have sports every day.
Yes.
Baseball is an everyday sport.
Every
and they're only
day.
playing 60, so they're not taking any days off,
Hell
right?
no.
Then you got the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs coming up. I mean, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be. We're not going to have any time to talk about anything but sports, Harry.
Exactly.
I won't even be able to make fun of Couch Guy or Ryan Rothstein or anybody else, or even Robin's hair.
And the ratings might suffer in
Exactly,
the show.
I know. We're just going to have to find a way to make complaining about sports more entertaining, Harry.
Right.
Can we get it back to the Eagles?
We can get back to the Eagles eventually. But speaking of baseball, Harry, Pennsylvania here where we live, in the great state of Pennsylvania, one of the slogans on their license plates, remember? You have a friend in Pennsylvania. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, guess who doesn't have a friend in Pennsylvania? The Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays are still homeless. Mm-hmm. They have to start playing baseball in a couple of days.
Yeah, now I saw that our friend Dan Lust was tweeting and putting it out on Instagram that Toronto had found a home, allegedly, in Pittsburgh.
Right, at PNC Park where the Pirates
And there were
play.
some cool combo logos that were really look good.
Not like the deep dish combo mambo at Little Caesars, which I think is phenomenal.
But Buster Olney, I saw this an hour ago on Twitter, says the Jays' situation remains in a state of flux.
Is that which state is that in? Is that Pennsylvania, Bald Maryland?
I think is that a blue state or a red
I don't
state?
know what
the
it
state
is.
of flux. The team, MLB, has not received approval from Pennsylvania to use Pittsburgh as its home park. They're in communication with the governor's office.
Not
Jays
incommunicado.
Might need another alternative.
So Pennsylvania just told the Toronto Blue Jays to stuff it.
Well, I don't know that they've told them anything, but they haven't approved it.
No, the governor doesn't want the Pirates to share their facility, from what I read today.
Why wouldn't he?
Because he doesn't want anything in his state.
Yeah.
He wants the state shut down again, like all these other idiot governors.
Did you see the alternative?
Baltimore?
No, not Baltimore.
Oh, up in
Atlantic City.
The Atlantic City.
Me and Conlon, Couch Guy, we wish Atlantic City, but it's not going to be at Surf Stadium.
Is it going to be the
Albany
Wilmington
Avenue.
Blue Rock Stadium there off 95 in Delaware? Joe Biden will throw out the first pitch from his basement. He's just going to throw it out the window, and it's miraculously going to land in the catcher's mitt at the Blue Rock Stadium in Wilmington, Delaware, Harry.
That is correct.
It is?
Spot on. No, that's not correct.
Well,
so all of the scheduled games, so let's say they're scheduled to play the Phillies at home. They're going to go to Philadelphia as the home team.
So they play the entire thing on the road.
So they'll never have a home game.
Oh, my God.
That's not confirmed. That's just a possibility in an ESPN article just released.
Wow. Fade the Blue Jays.
Fade them
Couch
hard.
Guy's already getting some futures
he's already
on that.
the line. Let's see. Blue Jays.
I'm low-key
Blue Jays in Philly at Citizens Bank Park with no fans. Who's the home team? And who will kneel before the national anthem? And I'm going to rip MLB today. It's not my style. I normally rip the NBA, but I'm an equal opportunity rip. And I'm not ripping just for the sake of ripping. I'm ripping because there's good reason to rip. And I will rip the MLB today, Harry.
Okay.
Because they're doing something.
So you're taking off from the NBA rip today?
No, there'll be some NBA
Oh,
rips
there
later,
is?
too.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always room for Jell-O, and there's always room to rip the NBA.
When we come back, we will also have breaking news.
We'll have breaking news?
Yes.
We'll have Adam Schefter, too, who probably will have breaking news. Adam Schefter, NBA expert, is going to join us next, right here. So stick around. We're just getting started. It's a What Up Wednesday.
What up?
I'm sure Adam will have this, but this is on ESPN, so it's a real story.
About the end, but I was joking about the only reason I said Adam Schefter is an NBA expert is because he did a podcast.
Right.
No, he did a podcast.
And he did some games, too. He was the sideline guy.
Adam Schefter did?
Last year.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He did like the
a
crossover.
year or two ago. He did a couple of them.
Yeah.
Oh, so the NBA finally hearing hearing people like me calling them out. I'm going to take some credit for this, Harry.
You should.
Nobody's been on the NBA versus China. Not even Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri, who's made it a big deal. I've been ripping the NBA on this China thing for a long time, Harry. A long time. And now the NBA, to try to make it look like, because they can't ignore what's going on in China with the video of the Uyghurs in their, I think they had Laker jerseys. I couldn't tell which jerseys. Did you see those slaves that were sitting out blindfolded with their hands tied behind their backs?
Okay, Tony,
getting on trains?
Here comes Adam.
Okay.
He should be able to hear us.
Wait a minute. Is he clean shaven? He's not clean. Yes, he is. He's clean shaven. I can't ever imagine Adam Schefter not being clean shaven.
He looks like.
Hey, Adam, can you turn your cameras
You're
the other
sideways. I got to turn this way to see you.
This way, is that better?
Yeah.
Perfect.
How come every guest we have on always has to turn their camera the other way? You guys are always sideways. Is this some sort of a secret pact you have, Adam?
Yes, and just so that you know, you're only going to be able to see Tony on your side, but Harry Mays is here as well. And just a minute, we'll be coming back from break. You'll hear music, and then we'll go live immediately after.
Thanks for popping on, man. Appreciate the time again, Adam.
You got it, guys. You got it.
You're clean shaven, man. You're looking good, man. Looking healthy,
Thank you. I appreciate
fit.
it, Tony, thank you.
Did you shave, or is that just like a one-day?
No, I haven't not shaved. I've got a
Stubble.
little 2-day growth here.
That's good,
roughly.
Man. Beautiful.
Yep.
Man. And that's a real background. A lot of these people are using fake backdrops. You're not using blue screen. That's your real office, isn't it?
This is my real office, Tony.
I know it. I can tell. We got lawyers and stuff using fake backdrops.
So he's got that Michigan helmet up there all the time, and then he'll adjust. Like he'll have a Patriots and a Chiefs, and then he'll do another hit, and there'll be different helmets. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Where's the Eagle helmet for this? No, this isn't an Eagle segment. I'm joking. Where's your Sixers uniform? Where's your Joel Embiid jersey on the wall there? I'll introduce you as NBA expert Adam Schefter. Is that all right?
Yes, you got it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. That works.
And we are also live on Twitch, so we might be getting some questions from them.
We don't do questions. I'm sorry. This isn't a question and answer segment.
I love that when JT does that. I don't do question radio, and he hangs up on the guys as soon as they call up. Hey, JT, I got a question. We don't do question radio. Boom, he hangs up on him.
How much time till we're back? We're going to be right on time at 3:20.
Yeah. Do you have a heart out, Adam?
No.
Okay, cool.
Seem composed and relaxed, man. I mean, we got rookies reporting, man.
Oh, and he's got the gun show going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, I got a huge gun show. Yep. I got a big gun collection.
It's National Hot Dog Day. You know, we'll have to ask.
I only see Tony. Who else am I on with?
Harry Mays.
Here, I'm going to turn it just briefly, but then
I don't control any of the horizontal.
So
there's Harry.
There's Harry as well.
Why can't you put Harry in the shot, too?
Well.
And who else?
And then Robin. And then we got a bunch of strappers just sitting around. And
Here, I'll do it like this. I think both of you guys are in there. Just
strappers.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
We're back. It's SiriusXM 211. Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, Miss Robin, the whole cast of characters. We're all socially distanced. We all take our temperatures. We all have the sanitary stuff going on. It's safe down here. We're in our own bubble. Not the NBA bubble, not the NFL bubble, not the bubble room down in Florida. Adam Schefter's in his bubble room, looking clean. He's all jacked up. He must be working hard, lifting weights, not only because he's the ESPN's NFL expert, because he's an NBA expert as well.
That's right.
As we have learned here exclusively on the Tony Bruno Show. Adam, I didn't realize you were a big-time basketball guy.
Yeah, Tony, I like living in bubbles, and so that becomes something of a diversion for me, and I happen to love the NBA. I basically got into it by playing fantasy basketball. I still have a fantasy basketball team and a fantasy basketball league at ESPN. It's kind of like my hobby. You know, some people like to golf, some people like to garden, some people like to travel. I like to play fantasy basketball and fantasy golf, too, by the way.
And these guys play fantasy golf.
Exactly.
By the way, I'll give you a pick this weekend in Memphis down there at the 3M. You want a lot?
Memphis is the next week. For
no,
3M's
3M in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
That's out there at TPC Twin Cities. That's
Correct.
why it's in Minnesota. Patrick Rogers in the top 10.
Stanford guy.
Yep. And the guy we
Really?
saw.
Why do you say that?
I just think he's been playing well. He's under the radar. I'm not talking about winning. I'm talking about, in the
like a top
20 finish. And the other guy that I like, Paul Casey.
That's my pick.
Paul Casey is a lock this week.
Paul Casey didn't even make the cut last week.
I know.
That's okay.
That's because he had an 8 on one hole, a par 3,
Yes.
put it in the water twice.
He likes the bent grass, my sources tell me,
Yeah.
up at the TPC in Twin Cities. You're not getting this kind of knowledge.
Patrick Rogers finished 18th last week,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was his first top 20 finish since last June, since the Charles Schwab Challenge. So actually, he's gone 14, 76. He's been pretty good this year. But 18 was a high finish last week.
Yeah, but we're talking about top 20.
Good.
Yeah, we're talking about top 20, not winning it.
Right.
But I'll tell you, the guy is Dylan Fratelli, the guy that wanted to meet Jack Nicklaus. You remember when he was playing this past weekend?
South African guy.
The South African
Out
Dylan
of
Fratelli.
Texas.
And he's been playing well. Put him in the top 10. So I'm giving you some locks here.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, how's your track record here, Tony?
This is the first time I'm
He
trying.
has no track record.
I just look at other people and I say I'm gonna. I do a. It's like you remember the old UPI and then the college football poll and the AP college, and then you do the combination of the two. That's how you get the BCS standings. So I'm using a group, and then I'm compiling it and picking out the best picks. That's how I'm doing it.
Tony, last weekend in the Memorial, in my golf tournament, I was in my DFS tournament. I was in first place until the last hole. Last hole, and Henrik Norlander, who was on my team, bogeyed while Keith Mitchell birdied, and the person right behind me beat me by a 1.5, and I finished second amongst thousands of people in my DFS golf tournament.
Now, what did that cost you, though?
What did it cost me?
No, I mean, what kind of a loss? Was that a huge loss, or was it a partial loss? Were you able to get over it and pick yourself up and come back for this weekend?
That should have been.
I'm still recovering from that loss.
That should have been on SVP's Bad Beats segment.
I know, that's a bad
on
beat.
Sunday night.
Did Scott do it on Bad Beats in your name and your honor?
I'm just telling you, Henrik Norlander cost me a lot of money when he bogeyed 18 on Sunday.
You never bet those Nordic guys.
Those Swedes.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking with the great. See, I didn't even know this. You see what we're learning? Now,
Exactly.
I know you do. I know about the NBA because you did a podcast with an NBC guy, Tom Haberstroh, talking about, and you love the 76ers, even though they're not your team or your town, right?
Yeah. No, I think they're in a good position this year. I love Shake Milton, who's on my fantasy basketball team. I picked him up back in February, right when there was some injuries at the position, and I had the guy when it took off. So I like him, and they should be using the guy at point guard. He can make shots. He's a playmaker. You move Ben Simmons to power forward like they're doing. Look, you put your best players on the floor. Shake Milton is one of their best players. He's really good.
You know, all these Sixer podcasts, the Trust the Process guys are all going to call you now, want you on their podcast as a guest to talk about the greatness.
Let me tell you something right now. I cannot believe how many requests I've gotten during this quarantine. Like it is unbelievable. It is every single day. I can't do it anymore. Like I try never to say no. I can't take it anymore. It's just been crazy.
I hear you, man. I mean, we appreciate you coming on. This is your second appearance, but we've been on for a couple of months, and I know you're overwhelmed, and that's why we always, give you a couple of days and say, hey, if you could pop on, because we know we appreciate it, and I love you, Adam. So this is a podcast, where we're talking only Sixers, and we haven't even gotten to football yet.
I know.
You and I go back a ways, and you were amongst the very first people to ever put me on the radio. So in a way, as much as I didn't want to do this today, I'm indebted to you.
Well, thank you.
Was that when he was at the Denver Post?
Yeah, he was at the Denver, not the Denver. Was it the Post? No, what was the paper in Denver?
Well, I was at the Rocky Mountain News.
Rocky Mountain News, that's right.
And then the Denver Post. Okay. Yeah, I was at both papers.
Not Rocky Mountain Oysters. That's a different place up there.
But I don't know, what years were you putting me on back then?
That had to be when I was at, because you weren't working for ESPN. I was at Fox, I believe. So that had to be 2000. Because when were you the president of the Pro Football Writers Association of America?
Yeah, that would have been like in the mid to late 90s. Sam Batesh was your producer.
Exactly right. Another Philly guy, Sam Batesh.
Really?
Yes. Did you know that, Adam?
The great Sam Batesh. What's Sam Batesh doing these days?
He's still out in L.A. Roaming around producing. I think he's
nice guy.
I think he's working with Colin Cowherd on his show. If the last time we saw him in New York at a convention a couple of years ago.
Because we've had about everybody on that you've worked with in the past.
Exactly. Right. That's how I get guests.
So Tony's grandfather, like, honestly, I've never said no to people. I'm at the point now where I have to say no. I just can't. I can't do it. And so Tony texted me. I saw it. I meant to get back to him. I just didn't have time. And then he texted me again, yo, as if to say, what's up? So here I am.
By the way, Sam Batesh now is a senior director at CBS Sports headquarters. How about that?
Man.
Out in
Whoa,
L.A.
Sam Batesh.
Yeah, he's another guy with
Sam
great
Batesh.
hair. Another guy. I think he's from Atlanta. I think he grew up in the Atlantic City area as well. Down at the Jersey Shore, just like our producer and our intern here. It's amazing, man. The
Good for the great Sam Batesh, right? I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either. We just saw him. Last time I saw him, he was working with Colin Cowherd. What the hell's going on out there?
Sam Batesh was going to be the featured guest in our segment today. I had no idea.
Hey, book Sam for tomorrow. I want to get somebody from CBS on.
What'd you talk with Adam about? Well, Patrick Rogers and Sam Batesh.
I never would have guessed that. Of all the things you were going to talk about, we talked about Patrick Rogers, Henrik Norlander, and Sam Batesh. And Shake Milton.
Yes,
Shake Milton. Right. Nobody's talking about Shake Milton in Orlando today, but we're talking about him on this show. All right, the NBA bubble, because there's action today. Last time we talked at him, everybody was down in the dumps, and certainly there was a good reason, and there's still concerns out there. But now you fast forward a couple of months since we last had you on, and the NFL, even though the players, to their credit, They used their leverage over the weekend to force the NFL owners to do a jump, and they said, how high? And then they jumped higher. And now, of course, they're not going to have a preseason game. That's the big story that we obviously were talking about yesterday. No preseason games at all in the NFL, Adam. So obviously the coaches can't like that. And obviously there's going to be a lot of players who aren't going to make rosters now, and there'll be people out of work.
But that's the way it is, Tony, during a pandemic, right? The NFL had free agency without visits, and it got through it. And then it had the draft where there were no pre-draft interviews, and everyone was in their homes. It was done virtually. And now we're in a situation where there are going to be no preseason games. And you know what? It is unfortunate. And there are hundreds of players. Unfortunately, they're not going to get the opportunity that they've worked for their entire career this summer. It's not going to happen. Again, unfortunate, but this is what we're all dealt with. Everybody's got to deal with something right now, right? What are you going to do? I just hope we have football for the season. That if we could just play the games, great. I'm not worried about the guy that's trying to catch on as an undrafted free agent. Tough spot for him. Tough spot for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Now, but what about as far as the first couple of games of the regular season? I mean, with no preseason games, they're not even allowed to scrimmage with other teams. Like the Eagles would bring in the Patriots or the Ravens.
Those split practices.
Yeah, they do those split practices. So there's no contact between anybody. And so how ugly will the first couple of games of the regular season become?
I think the brand of football that you're used to seeing will be a notch below what we've seen in other years. I think it usually opens the season that way, but we all love the sport so much that believe me, it's okay. But I think this year it could be the product even more diminished than it's been in previous opening years. But again, what I would say to that is that's the time we're living in. And as long as we have the games, they can play whatever diminished product they want. I don't really care. We'll be happy to see diversion, a form of entertainment on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays. And by the way, if there's no college football, who knows? Maybe Fridays and Saturdays too.
Adam Schefter, ESPN, NFL, and NBA, and golf analyst.
That's right.
I mean, you could basically... Who knew is right. And this is why, people didn't like fantasy sports. It's gambling, but that's what you got to do. Harry does fantasy. I don't play fantasy sports. I play reality sports. I mean, that's the way I've always been. I just like to keep it real. As someone
Tony, you're missing out. You're missing out. I'm just telling you, for a $3 bet, like a $3 DFS golf bet, it changes your entire weekend. I'm just telling you.
He's right. He's exactly. I've been trying to tell you this for years.
$3?
You don't want to listen to me.
$3?
$3. You can get in a contest on DraftKings for $3.
And the $3 for $3, that is the best $3 of entertainment. Listen, I don't mean to be pitching the product, but I'm just telling you, $3 worth of entertainment. Tony, you spend $3 on a cafe latte. Okay?
No, I make my own. I don't go to Starbucks.
DFS golf lineup.
All right, now you got me hooked on golf, and not hooked on phonics. So I did that a long time ago. That's how I got into the business. Now, Harry, one of the other things that's going to be very, very interesting in the National Football League. What's going to happen to Tom Brady and the Patriots now?
Right.
And will this affect their Super Bowl not being able to play any the Bucs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. Will this affect their rhythm when they get out there for their first game down in Tampa with the expectations high?
Well, I thought Tony just broke some news that Tom Brady went back to New England.
They may have, for all we know, how crazy the world has been.
I'm like, wow, I missed something here. When did Tom Brady go back to New England? But he's down in Tampa. It's interesting because I think it's almost at this point a little anticlimactic or a little off to talk about storylines that otherwise would be dominating the NFL world. If everything were normal right now, which we know it's not, I think we'd be filled with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers conversation. Even to talk about it feels a little odd to me because as much as we hope and think that there's going to be a season, we don't know that there's going to be a season. And so we're talking about something that may not even be. And so it's odd to me, but he is the greatest quarterback of all time, and he is playing for Tampa, and it is an incredibly intriguing situation. But it doesn't feel real. Like the NFL season is scheduled to open 50 days from today. The league is scheduled to kick off 50 days from tonight. Wow. And so do you feel that energy and excitement and adrenaline right now?
No,
I don't.
I don't, but I feel hopeful because we're seeing these other sports. Soccer down in Florida. Yeah. The MLS is back. They've been playing golf just a few weeks ago. We were worried about caddies testing positive, and they were going to shut everything down. So the smart thing they did is they kept the spectators. They were going to add spectators. They didn't do that. So I think when you're talking about these major sports organizations who have gazillions of dollars, they're definitely doing all they can to protect the players, and the spectators just won't have to be there. So it's going to be on TV anyway. That's how we watch and play fantasy anyway. We're watching it on TV. We don't have to go to the game or the golf course to sit out and find out who you bet on. So I think the sports that are going to go on and the players are going to be protected better than anybody else out there, the so-called essential workers. They're getting better protection than the truck drivers and the people working in grocery stores. So I think we don't, as much as we worry and care about everybody, I'm not worried about the pro leagues taking care of their high asset talent. Are you?
No, I'm worried about Henrik Norlander parring 18, but that's I'm not bitter at all about that.
No, not at all. Wait, how much would you have won if he didn't bogey? What was the big difference?
He doesn't disclose that kind of information.
We're not talking about we're not talking about lottery. We're not talking about hitting the lottery or having Terry Bradshaw show up at your house with a $7,000
with a cardboard check.
Yeah, for every week for the rest of your life.
Tony, on a $3 DFS lineup, that lack of a par cost me basically 4 figures.
4 figures.
How about that?
$12.50 for a $3 bet.
Yeah. How about that?
Somebody's saying the one thing about playing fantasy sports is you don't talk about gambling on fantasy. It's like Fight Club. You just don't talk about how much you won.
But here's the thing. Like the money, I don't care. Like I wanted to win first.
Yeah.
Like I wanted my first DFS golf championship.
Do you get a trophy for that?
It's bragging rights.
No.
You don't get any kind of like little tin cup of some kind, or you don't go to a trophy store in Bristol, Connecticut and have a little trophy made with your name on here, DFS golf champion, ESPN.
I haven't been to Bristol since March. I don't even know the next time I'll be in there. I mean, I'm not allowed back in Bristol. Like Connecticut's blocked out everybody.
But no, you know who's allowed up there? Matt Vasgersian and A-Rod will be doing the baseball game Thursday night, the first game, sitting up there in the studio, separated, doing the game that will be played in Washington.
And Buster will be in Washington.
And Buster
on the
Olney
field.
will be down in D.C.
Well, I look forward to the day I get back to Bristol and get to see my colleagues. Like I said, I'm living in this bubble here that involves a wife and a 20-year-old son and an 11-year-old girl. And that's my bubble here, and it feels like you barely get to see anybody else besides that. Well,
I hear you, but one thing I've never heard anybody say, I can't wait to get back to Bristol. I don't think I've ever heard anybody. And listen,
I can't wait to get back to Bristol.
I was there for 10 years, so listen, I used to love making the ride, and I missed the Otis elevator test shaft right across the street.
When's the last time you were back there?
Back to Bristol? Oh, God. A long time. We did the 25th anniversary show for ESPN Radio, Keith Olbermann, Chuck Wilson, and I, but we did it from New York City because they didn't want to pay us to go up there, so they put us in the studio in New York at the ESPN studios up there, the ESPN radio station, and we did it there, and we recorded it, and then they ran it on ESPN Radio.
When was that, like 2015?
Nah, that was a couple years ago, whenever the 25th anniversary.
But when was the last time you were back in Bristol?
It's got to be, in the 90s. When I left, 1999.
Wow.
You wouldn't recognize the campus if you saw it.
I've seen video and stuff. Yeah, I remember when it was just the one building, and then they had the little one in the back where we had ESPN2 and all the
a couple of satellite dishes.
You wouldn't recognize it.
That's what I hear. I see it. Listen, I love my time at ESPN. It's one of the greatest parts of my entire career. I mean, working there and helping to start ESPN Radio and working with all the great people. I mean, and I was there before you were there, and then all of a sudden we were both there, and now I'm not there, and you're there, and then Harry's here, and I'm here. And
wait, were we at ESPN at the same time at all, Tony? No.
I don't think so, no, because that's right. When I was talking to you when you were the president of the Pro Football Writers, I think it was working for Sporting News or Fox. And so you
were working for Fox at that time.
I was with Andrew Siciliano.
One of the Denver newspapers.
That's right. I was working with Andrew at Fox, and then we would have Adam on every week talking football. Good
Andrew
stuff.
Siciliano, right?
Yeah, you remember him, right? A Syracuse guy.
Yeah, another Syracuse
Too many Syracuse guys in the business, and you got to do something to stop this. I just think it's a problem, and I think it's affecting the way broadcasting is conducted right now. In the last thing on the NFL, and Adam Schefter with us, is they're going to play. There's going to be games. There's going to be the Hall of Fame game. We hope. Now, what about the Hall of Fame game? They canceled that.
They canceled all the preseason.
I know that. But what if the first game on September 10th, the Thursday night game?
Chiefs-Texans, I
right.
believe.
We know the rookies are in. We know about all the protocol. The rookies have to quarantine 5 days of testing and all that other stuff. Can you see right now, and again, we don't know what's going to happen in a month from now, a scenario where that game is not played on that Thursday night, September 10th?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anything's possible. Again, the league is planning to play the game. It intends to play the game. It wants to play the game. It's determined to play the game. But can you say that game's going to go off? I don't know.
Well, how am I going to bet on it on a future line? How am I going to – that line's going to move.
Yep.
And now you got me hooked on gambling. I was not a gambling guy until you came on here and started talking about Shake Milton in your fantasy basketball league and all these other golfers that no one's ever heard of except guys like Harry Mays who plays every day.
Well, Harry, who do you like this week?
I took Paul Casey, but I'm not, I had Dustin Johnson last week. He shot 80 and missed the cut. So who knows? But Adam, I'm wondering if you think the team in Washington will have a new nickname by the time the season starts.
Yes, I expect that to happen. It's difficult. They're on the fast track.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of things to deal with right now, that organization.
Yeah,
but
right.
I think that. Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to start the season being called the Washington NFL team? the Washington TBDs?
The interesting thing is that there's Darren Ravel today talked about the XFL when they folded. The one thing they didn't keep was the trademark to the Washington's team. They were the Defenders, were they not?
Defenders, yeah.
The Washington Defenders, and that could have been, the Washington former Redskin team can now take that name and not have to worry about it if that's one of the teams, if that's one of the names that they wanted to keep. Are you surprised that the XFL didn't keep some of the trademarks of the teams that they had?
I don't know enough about how trademarks work to make an educated comment there, but I know there's one attorney in the Washington area trademarked a bunch of names. And
we had him on. We had the guy on who had all 44 names, but he said to us that he wasn't doing it to make money, and he was having fun with it. And, by the way, he also told us that Washington, they don't have to do anything to get those. They don't have to pay him. He's not suing them. He could take any of the names that he has if they want to go through the trademark transfer process. So it wasn't a guy who everybody thought initially was, a guy who was just trying to grift off the Washington team knowing that they're eventually going to change their name. He was a guy who sounded pretty honest that they could take whatever name they want. I can't stop him. But if it's not a name that's on the list of his trademarks,
then they have to go through
the process, which means that they won't be able to start the season with a name unless they get expedited delivery, from the trademark office. And I don't know whether they do that or not.
Well, again, it's a lot of legal stuff there that's above my pay grade.
It's purview now. Come on, it's purview. Pay grade doesn't work anymore. Purview is the term now.
Is that right?
Yes.
My purview?
Yeah, you know where I heard that from? I heard Governor Murphy of New Jersey. He said, that's above my purview. And a lot of people, purview, that means that's above your pay grade. It just sounds more educated when you say, that's above my purview.
You know what? From now on, I will eliminate the term pay grade from my vocabulary, and I'll say, that's above my purview.
Purview. Thank you, Adam. That's great stuff, man. Last quick note. The story that's flying around today is that Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, now the New York Times is after him about not just being the ambassador to Britain and trying to get the British Open in Turnberry in Scotland a couple of years ago, which didn't happen, by the way, but supposedly making comments in the past about women, allegedly racist and sexist comments. How far do you think this is going to go?
Well, again, whenever there's any hint of this, and there obviously are strong hints here and strong allegations, people are going to go after that. And so Woody Johnson's going to be under major investigation. Everybody's going to be looking into his past and trying to dig up what they can on him. And if there's anything there, people are going to do everything they can to find out what it is.
I'm sure the Jets fans are trying to do that. Trying to do that to the Knicks owner, Dolan. They want everybody wants owners out of the way. Dan Snyder, Woody Johnson, and of course the Dolans.
James Dolan
with the New York. These guys are making it easy.
Yes, they are.
Right.
You're absolutely right about that. Adam, thank you so much, man. I know you've been running ragged, and I really appreciate you coming on. By the way, once again, great job with the book from last year about your family and all that stuff you're going through. It's an amazing read. And Robin was breaking down reading it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I have a stepfather who's been in my life since I was very young, and reading that and just the way you honored your son's biological father who passed away in 9/11 is just amazing.
The Man I Never Met.
Yeah.
Great book. Great. I recommend everybody reads it if you haven't already. The Man I Never Met. It's not a sports book. It's a life book. And it's great work by Adam Schefter. Adam, thank you so much, brother. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Tony, Harry, Robin, thank you very much. I got to go figure out my DFS golf line.
There you go.
I already gave you a couple of locks. I've done Dylan Fratelli and Patrick Rogers in the top 20. And, yes, I agree, Paul Casey to win it all, plus 2,500.
Now, don't mush me now.
I'm not mushing you, Harry. I'm always right. I told you John Rahm, and you wouldn't listen last week. Tried to tell you that. Adam Schefter, how great is that? Let's give him a roaring round of applause.
Yes, and the actual definition for purview is the scope of the influence or concerns of something.
Exactly right. Sort of like doing the show is beneath my purview.
Wow.
Wow.
Is math part of your purview?
No, math is way
Okay.
above my purview. That's why I have calculators, and that's why I have an abacus in here. We'll play a block of abacus later on in the show, too, Harry. I know you're a big fan, and certainly Robin. She watches Mamma Mia at least once a weekend. We're coming right back. We got open lines, too. You want to call in and talk, anything you want to say, 215-462-TONY. And the Strapper line is active.
Yes.
856-818-4045. We got some good Strapper calls today. At least that's what the people are telling me on the Twitch stream. But, of course, they always talk a good game. But do they walk the walk? We'll find out. And a glory hole update still ahead, so stick around.
Hello. Anybody that is watching us on something other than Twitch. So if you are not on Twitch, we are going to have to say goodbye to you. You got just the taste for just a second, just so that you know how fantastic the show is. We still have another little bit over 2 hours to go. So you definitely want to make the switch to Twitch. So if you are a YouTube, Periscope, Facebook person, go over to Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show.
What?
I mean, that conversation, you're not going to get Adam Schefter like that anywhere else.
Exactly. Because everybody's just going to focus on football, right? Which is what he does. But did you know he was a fantasy golf guy?
Oh, it sounded